The machines are not set to store images. They're not set to transmit images. And they are objectively better at detecting liquids, powders, gels, other things that somebody may try to smuggle on a plane to blow up the plane.
Sure, but can you guarantee, Madam Secretary, again, that we will never, ever hear a story of somebody inappropriately storing or transmitting these images?
Look, I'm going to tell you, we are not retaining, we are not keeping. They're not designed for that at all.
Right, but that doesn't sound like an unequivocal no.
The U.S. Marshals Service has admitted storing full body scan images of people entering the federal courthouse in Orlando, Florida. The federal agency hasn't stored just a few. They've got more than 35,000 images on record.
And it's no surprise that this is now raising new questions about these scanners, the ones being used at airport security checkpoints as well. Homeland Security correspondent Jean Meserve joins us now in Washington. First of all, just tell us, how was this discovery made?
Through a Freedom of Information Act request from a privacy group. We turn now to this anxious season about security in America. Yesterday, we had the news of 12 terror arrests in London. So we sat down yesterday with the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, Chief Counterterrorism Advisor John Brennan, and Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano.
We looked online at all the recruitment videos from the radical cleric Anwar al-Awlaki, not to mention Osama bin Laden.
What can you do about this? On the assumption that some of these thousands, 11,181 viewers are people who actually intend to hurt people.
Well, one of the things we've done, we collectively, has been an outreach program so that we are in dialogue with the Muslim community. And that is going to be a source of advice, counsel, and wisdom.
But we wondered, how did they stay in control with so much information coming in every day? For instance, the afternoon of our interview, the day's news had been filled with the terror arrest, 12 people in London just that morning. But when we asked the Director of Intelligence...
London, how serious is it? Any implication that it was coming here? Any of the things that they have seen were coming here? Dr. Clapper.
Later in the interview, I came back to the Director. Did he really not know?
I was a little surprised you didn't know about London, Director Clapper.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
What do you say to the American people right now about the degree of anxiety that's just realistic right now as we head into the holidays?
Yeah, what I say to the American people is that we are, and thousands of people are working 24/7, 364 days a year to keep the American people safe.
The If You See Something, Say Something campaign is part of the Department of Homeland Security's efforts to raise security awareness at various venues across the U.S.
So over the past 5 months, we have expanded the If You See Something, Say Something campaign to transportation systems. You may have heard my voice on the D.C. Metro. We've expanded it to passenger rail, to mass transit, to general aviation. And we've also expanded it to sports arenas, to law enforcement fusion centers, to shopping malls. And as you know, yesterday we expanded it to Walmart, our nation's largest retailer.
Hi, I'm Janet Napolitano, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security begins with hometown security. That's why I'm pleased that Walmart is helping to make our communities more safe and secure. If you see something suspicious in the parking lot or in the store, say something immediately. Report suspicious activity to your local police or sheriff. If you need help, ask a Walmart manager for assistance. Thank you for doing your part to help keep our hometowns safe.
We think, that is my co-author Thaler and I, that there's a little Homer Simpson in all of us, that sometimes we have self-control problems, sometimes we're impulsive, and that in these circumstances, both private and public institutions, without coercing, can make our lives a lot better.
Once we know that people are human and have some Homer Simpson in them, then there's a lot that can be done to manipulate them.
What we think with the idea of nudge is that ordinary people, meaning all people, sometimes blunder. We sometimes have self-control problems. We sometimes don't have adequate information. We sometimes are too optimistic about our future. There's a way for government to respect freedom of choice, not to ban, which Friedman hated, while also playing a constructive role in helping people who often find things confusing and complicated, and as a result, blunder.